One day, time just suddenly stops for a short moment for you. At first, you try to mess around, but after the 246th times it happened, you start to realize that your power is not stopping time, but being able to move in time frozen by another person in the world. My sneakers tapped gently against the pavement as I walked briskly down the street. I squeezed my way through the peak hour human traffic, catching whiffs of overly strong perfume and worse, overly strong body odor. I don't like people much. I mean that in the nicest way possible. Two's company, three's a crowd, anything more than that is a nightmare. Trying to ignore the occasional sweaty body that rubbed too close against mine as I wormed through the crowd, I wish that everyone would just stop moving. And then, all of a sudden, they did. The sounds of shoes pattering against the pavement and car horns blaring as frustrated drivers crawled through standstill traffic disappeared into thin air, as if they'd never been there. A perfect, fragile silence descended upon the world. Every single person, object and animal was frozen. The fat man in a shirt clearly too small for him had stopped, his pudgy legs stretched out mid-stride. A teenage girl with highlights in her hair swept aside her fringe with one hand, the other raised in midair in an attempt to adjust her earphones. A flock of pigeons hung artificially in the air, like some sort of elaborate piece of abstract art dangling from the ceiling of a museum. Yet even as the world froze around me, I continued moving. In that heartbeat when everything else was locked in time, my left foot landed solidly on the ground, and unconsciously, my right foot had moved forwards, about to take another step. Then I stopped. Nothing compelled me to, not like something seemed to compel everything and everyone else to stop, no. I just stood there, in shock and awe. Had my wish caused this to happen? What was going on? And yet, even as my thoughts became a jumbled mess, I couldn't help but smile. Moving around was so much easier with everyone stopped in place. As it turns out, no, I wasn't the one who caused it to happen. Time abruptly resumed a short while later, as if nothing at all had transpired. By then, I was out of the crowd, tucked away in the corner of a quiet cafe. I only noticed when the barista started to move again, the sound of beans being crushed in a grinder giving me the shock of my life. The freezes happened over and over again, at random intervals. They never lasted very long, but I definitely wasn't the one doing it. In fact, as the phenomenon occurred more and more, I knew for sure that someone else was stopping time. There's no good way to explain it, but I could feel their presence, somewhere, not too close, but not too far away. I didn't know if they could sense me too, the way I could sense them, but I knew that they were out there. So far, I hadn't seen anything or anyone else move during those freezes. It may sound stupid now, but I was content to enjoy those little moments while they lasted. It usually wasn't inconvenient, and it led to some really cool opportunities to prank my friends, or to escape from throngs of people in a busy mall. I knew that my partner in crime was out there, but I had no desire to find them. In hindsight, that was a mistake. My sneakers tapped gently against the pavement as I walked briskly against the street. It was a day much like the one when I had first experienced the peculiar sensation of being the only sentient person in a world of frozen time. Once again, I squeezed through the peak hour human traffic. Once again, my senses were bombarded by a host of things I hated dealing with. And once again, not unlike many of the other times, I quietly wished that my time-stopping partner might decide to freeze time once more, to allow me to slip out from this nightmare. Surprisingly enough, time stopped. It wasn't often that time stopped at a convenient juncture, so I took the opportunity to dash out of the sticky literally situation that I'd found myself enclosed in. And yet, as I took in a gulp of fresh air, something felt wrong. It took me a moment